All right, welcome back to the Unwritten Rule. It's our first post-game recap of the season for Mizzou football. It's just Payton and I for this one. Mizzou just wrapped up a 61-6 victory over Central Arkansas. And we're going to get into the recap in a moment, but we are, like I said, just coming on right after the game here, and Payton and I both saw and wanted to mention before we started the recap just the awful and shocking news about KMU sports director Ben Arnett passing away just tonight, on Thursday. And we were just both shocked and saddened by this. Ben is somebody who, you can even see the reception right now, and is somebody who has for a long time been a beloved member of the Mizzou community. He was a Hickman graduate, went to Mizzou, earned the career that a lot of us, in the J school, myself and Payton included, kind of aspired to have. And we're frankly shocked, seeing this news. It was just awful. And, we both knew Ben when we went through the J school. We have a lot of colleagues and friends who work directly with him at KOMU, and just heard so many good things. And any interaction I ever had with him was just so positive. And again, he was such a beloved member of the Mizzou community. And so it's shocking, Payton, and heartbreaking news to hear about Ben Arnett and him passing away on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, shocking doesn't even, I think, begin to even really cover it. I will say I didn't actually know Ben, but I mean, I was the print side of the J school. I didn't meet him ever, but I mean, I, of course, covered the women's basketball team at Mizzou, so a couple of times we crossed paths. Never heard a bad word really about him. Obviously, like you said, we had a ton of friends that knew him. And I mean, obviously, he's just such a huge part of the coverage scene there, for just on the local side of things. So I was really shocked. I mean, I went over to just his Twitter after I heard the news because I was so shocked. I was like, had he maybe not been covering things lately or something? But I mean, he had just been retweeting. He tweeted about Luther's number change, just the day before. So just really sudden, unexpected. Only 43 years old. Just horribly sad news. Just can't even really begin to say how shocked I was by that news. I mean, the word, there's not enough words I could say that do justice just how unexpectedly sad it is.
Yeah. So our hearts are with his family and everyone who, just in the Mizzou community, and hopefully, can kind of band together and lift each other up and support each other through this, because he touched a lot of people's lives. You mentioned the basketball. He called, a lot of those Mizzou games on the SEC network. I know people loved that so much, hearing a local voice. And
I mean, he was a mentor to pretty much everyone that went through the TV side of the J school.
Yep, a professor as well, and just touched so many lives. So it's just really deeply saddening. And so our hearts are with, his family in that moment. And just incredibly sad and shocking. And it's just awful. Just awful news to receive. We did still want to recap the game. There's no easy way to segue off of that. And obviously Ben loved Mizzou and loved covering Mizzou football as well, like we do. And we do want to still talk about Mizzou's win over Central Arkansas. So I'll just say we're segueing without doing it in any sort of formal way. There's no easy way to do that, but we do want to discuss Mizzou did get the win, Payton, on Thursday night to start their season. It was 61-6. There were plenty of fun moments in the game, some tough ones on the Mizzou side as well from an injury standpoint. We'll talk about that, but I mean, I think we should talk about the positives first. And I wrote a few things down. I wrote some winners and some losers of game one for Mizzou, but I mean, what a win! Credit to I guess Kenny. I think Kenny still came the closest in his score prediction. I think he said, was it 53-0, 54-0? I was a little bit Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had 51-0.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed Mizzou couldn't keep the goose egg in obviously Central Arkansas getting that touchdown in the last in a couple of seconds, but a lot of things to dive into. I think we have to start, though under center. The quarterback battle is over, and it is, ending. It ends in a very unfortunate way. I think Payton it's safe to say with, Beau Pribula, we should talk about him. He had a phenomenal game. But really unfortunate. I mean, Sam Horn just didn't even get the shot to do the first half, second half thing. He came in for one play, ran it up the middle, and was just collided into, looked really bad. I know he had the full leg brace on one of his legs. And so he goes down. And so it's the Beau Pribula show for the rest of the game, which is, great. And we can talk about Beau Pribula, but Payton, I mean, Sam Horn, just gut wrenching for him, just has had just awful luck with injuries. And now, it didn't look good. You don't want to speculate, but yeah, it seems like a pretty gnarly injury for Sam Horn. And that, likely puts an end to the quarterback battle here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way Beau Pribula played tonight, anyways, it probably was going to be an open and shut competition either way. But it's really tough for Sam Horn. I mean, he really was never given a fair shake at any point. Just really unfortunate timing. Always seemed to meet him whenever he had a real chance at the quarterback job. Maybe obviously 2024 he wasn't going to have it, but still to have your the elbow injury that he did and not be able to what would have been a start in a couple of games last year was unfortunate for him. The 2023 QB battle was really not one at all. And I mean, now he gets to come in the first half, run a little read option, and gets hurt on his first play. That's just terrible. I mean, I really do feel bad for Sam Horn. I don't think he was on his way to winning it either way, but he wasn't really given a chance. You would have liked to have at least seen him get that second half like was planned and really get a chance at it. Just not to be. Drinkwitz, I believe, did say we'd know more on the injuries like tomorrow, possibly, but like you said, it didn't seem like Drinkwitz was not very upbeat when he was asked about it, and he definitely made it seem like the worst news was probably coming.
Yeah, so I guess we'll wait to see an update. But yeah, it didn't look good. And with that in mind, it was still a outstanding performance for Beau Pribula. And you mentioned it, Payton. It probably wasn't going to be Sam Horn winning the job unless he had a pretty outstanding performance, because it would have taken a lot. It would have taken that to match what Beau Pribula did. You can see if you're watching on the YouTube on the stats, we have up 23 of 28, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Mizzou is a team, 341 passing yards, 560 total yards. Just sheer domination, as it should have been against Central Arkansas. But Payton, even with the opponent in mind, I mean, Beau Pribula, to me, ticked about every box you could tick. I mean, he started things out with that deep ball to Marquise Johnson. He hit him on another one that was actually a little bit underthrown. Otherwise, Johnson would have probably had another touchdown. And then the other big play, of course, was that scamper that looked like he was about to lose 12 yards that he then turned into a pump fake at the line of scrimmage and sprinted into the end zone. I mean, again, given it's Central Arkansas, I think we saw about all we wanted to see from Beau Pribula tonight, and his connection, particularly with Kevin Coleman Jr. and Marquise Johnson. I was really impressed by. He was my first of 4. I have big winners from this game.
Yeah, Beau Pribula looked great. He looked the part. I think the big question for him coming into the game was, all right, this is the first time we're going to see him really get an extended run to throw the ball. I mean, the other notable time was that second half against Wisconsin. This was his first real, like, all right, this is your game. Go out and show us what you can do. Like you said, hit a deep ball to Marquise Johnson. Found Marquise Johnson on another deep ball later in the game. That one was a bit of an underthrow. Like we've seen Brady Cook kind of hit Marquise Johnson in similar circumstances. And it was after he overthrew Marquise Johnson earlier in the drive. So maybe just dialing it back a little too much. But overall, I thought he was really, really impressive. I thought like he had, I think it might have been his third completion of the game. Yeah, the 3rd and 3 out to Kevin Coleman. No. It was this 4th completion of the game. The 1st and 10 to Kevin Coleman for 20 yards. That was like a throw on the money on an out route. Kevin Coleman was not that open. So that was really nice to see. I was impressed with the arm talent. I was really impressed just how he operated when kind of the pocket was breaking down. Because spoiler alert, we'll get into it. The O line was
which
not
happened
good.
a lot.
Yeah, the O line was not good in the first half at all. But he really looked comfortable. There was a throw to it was Norfleet. It was a 1st and 10 throw for 0 yards, and I thought it was maybe like outside of the deep ball to Marquise Johnson on his first throw as a Tiger. I thought it was maybe you could argue his most impressive throw. He off a bootleg had a corner blitz right in his face, very professionally looking, kind of manipulated the corner and was able to fire off the ball for a completion. Norfleet. It didn't get you anything, but it was really impressive. Obviously, that scramble for a touchdown he had kind of came on a bit of a. I don't even know that the pocket was really collapsing, but he just made magic happen. He looked really good running the ball. That I think we weren't doubting, but he was as advertised in that department as well.
Yeah, I thought he was great. And again, you mentioned that there was some professional looking moments from him, and then there's just the kind of swagger piece. I think, they were talking about it. He kind of scored that touchdown. He almost was kind of mouthing like, "This is what I do," getting back to the sidelines. He's definitely very confident in himself, and you can see that in the way he plays, and you can see that in the way he played tonight. Again, with the caveat that it was Central Arkansas, but I thought he was connecting really well with a lot of receivers, got a lot of guys involved. So yeah, I thought I thought he ticked every box. I think again, regardless of Sam Horn's status, I think he about assured that he is the deserved QB1 on this team. I think he did more than enough to prove that. My next winner, Payton, from this game, I want to flip to the defensive side of the ball because I think it was a one. And I actually, I'm going to have you flip to the defensive side of the ball because I didn't pull up the stats in front of me by myself, but there they are. It is a one, Mr. Josiah Trotter. 8 total tackles, did not have a sack, did have a tackle for a loss. He was everywhere. And I think there were some kind of strange defensive moments sprinkled at times throughout this game if we're really getting nitpicky, but he was awesome. I think you texted Kenny and I and said, I think we overthought not making all of our bold predictions for the season about Josiah Trotter. And there were some other good players on this Mizzou defense tonight. But Josiah Trotter, I thought was just everywhere, Payton, making tackles and looked just in command. I think this is going to end up. There was so many times, I think it was 3 or 4 times, it was the Matt Stafford, Clayton Kershaw thing where the broadcasters were saying, he's the son of Jeremiah Trotter, right? And he looked that part. I thought he was great. He was my second winner from the game.
Yeah, no, he was an animal tonight. I thought, goodness gracious. I mean, he was, like you said, absolutely everywhere. Only 1 tackle for loss, which kind of surprised me. It felt like all of his tackles felt super, super impactful. He was kind of electric too. Like when he would get those tackles, he'd sell it. He was amped up tonight. He looked like he was ready to play. He looked like he was playing like this was the national championship. I was a big fan of Josiah Trotter. I remember I made my my prediction for the linebacker room that Khalil Jacobs would be the guy that would lead the team in tackles. There is 0 chance that is happening. I would be shocked if it's not Josiah Trotter at this point. Also, shout out Jeremiah Beasley for getting 7 tackles. Especially he had the forced fumble late in the game, so he made the most.
The forced fumble that came immediately after the
after
said it was a turnover-free game. That was tough.
Yeah, so I mean, really good stuff from the linebacker room. Nick Rodriguez had a good game as well. Again, that wasn't like he wasn't playing till in the second half, but still. We talked about the depth on this linebacker room, how much we like it. I have no reason to doubt that after game one. And Josiah Trotter, obviously a well decorated in terms of accolades player already after his season at West Virginia. He looks like he's SEC ready to me right now.
Yeah, we were singing his praises in that linebacker room, and then the other guy to shout out too is Damon Wilson got those 2 sacks, finally getting to play. Or sorry, not Damon Wilson, Darius
It
Smith.
was Damon Wilson.
Or it was
Damon
Damon Wilson. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Damon Wilson got the 2 sacks. I'm getting him and Darius Smith mixed up because two Georgia Bulldogs. It's late night. I'm gonna excuse myself, but
Darius Smith did have 2 tackles.
he did have 2 tackles, and it was nice.
Sorry, that's not Darius Smith. I clicked. Give me 1 sec. Keep talking.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see that Damon Wilson, and it was nice to see Darius Smith out there finally for Mizzou. And then it was. Are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing?
Yeah, I think it's going over to a D Smith on Central Arkansas when I click the link. So,
but yeah, Damon Wilson, great debut for Mizzou. I thought he looked good off the edge. Zion Young was doing his thing as well. So I think overall pretty satisfying for the defensive front for the most part. I thought Trotter kind of led the way. This one I have to put a caveat on as my third winner from this game, and I didn't even mean to do this on purpose, Payton, but we're going offense, defense, special teams, because the third winner I wrote down until he too suffered an injury that knocked him out of the game was Blake Craig. I thought Blake Craig, he made those 2 field goals. Finally, Blake Craig, a field goal between 40 and 49 yards. That was the thing he needed to improve the most. He made a 49-yarder and then a 55-yarder for a game that was a blowout and didn't need to overly rely on his leg for points. I thought he did everything he could do, and then he proceeded to get injured trying to chase down a kickoff returner and did not return to the game. So that is, I think, concerning because he otherwise looked great. So I still chalk him up as a winner. But again, I believe Drinkwitz also included him in that. We'll have to see on Monday. So another kind of shaky moment for Mizzou special teams unit. It's already not strong and now might lose its strongest guy.
Yeah, Blake Craig, I agree, looked really good. Hit that 49-yarder, no questions asked. The 55-yarder had plenty of leg to go further as well. So that was encouraging to see. But like you said, I mean, now you have to kind of hold your breath and hope he's okay. I believe it's Robert Meyer is the backup if Blake Craig is hurt long term. And look, Mizzou has always been actually pretty good about recruiting high-level kickers at a high school, but you never want to pivot to the backup in any circumstance, really. I have no idea how good Robert Meyer is or is supposed to be, but the pressure would be really amped up for him if Blake Craig is hurt long term. So kind of have to just hope for the best there. But he was very good tonight.
Yeah.
He also, this was a thing I know. I mean, he was getting the kicks well out of the back of the end zone. I don't think that was a thing he was struggling with last year, but it was a thing Mevis used to struggle with. So it is nice to have Mizzou be able to kind of clear the end zone there.
Yeah, that is helpful and not have those kickoff returns. Yeah, Robert Myers, he's a true freshman, so that is a big spot to be thrown into if that is going to happen. So, you hope for Blake Craig's sake he is not injured long term. But again, something to monitor. But he is still, I think, a deserved winner. Payton, I didn't write him down, but he ends up, I think, kind of sneaking into the winners. Would you? I think you got to give another winner spot to Ahmad Hardy after this game. It was sort of a weird start. You had Jamal Roberts going out there, and kind of started the game, but I actually thought they kind of used the running backs overall pretty well. And Ahmad Hardy finishes the game 10 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown. So again, a debut that I thought was as solid as it maybe could have been. He had a few of those angry bulldog runs, a couple of comparisons to Cam Scadaboo too from the broadcasters, which I really liked. I kind of like that comp. I think the stat everyone keeps bringing up is that, and you hope, this becomes the new Cody Schrader was D2 one time where it's, hey, did you know Ahmad Hardy had the third most yards or third most broken tackles last year behind Ashton Genty. and Cam
Mhm.
Scadaboo. So maybe that becomes one of those overused stats. But I thought he was good. I'd probably chuck him in the winner spot too.
Yeah, definitely that first drive of the second half, I think in particular, is what you're looking for. I don't really care about Jamal Roberts starting the game over him. I think that's just kind of window dressing. I mean, they ran, I don't think, close to what their full offense is going to be against Kansas and going forward. But I did like what I saw from Ahmad Hardy. I think he will definitely be the primary guy going forward.
Yeah. And the Bucking Broncos celebration was great. And you know what? Actually, I lied. We might get that stat, but the new Cody Schrader thing will be, did you know Ahmad Hardy has horses? That's gonna be the new
Yeah.
that's gonna be the new overplayed fact. They're gonna come back to that a lot this year. So yeah, I thought he was great. My last winner, and it's a group of individuals, Payton, from this, is the freshman. A lot of good moments, and that's gonna probably happen in a 61-6 game. Obviously, again, the unfortunate injury to Sam Horn meant that and actually I'm going to pull these up while I'm talking, but the Matt Zollers overs that Kenny and I set preseason, I think absolutely smashed because he played a ton and he looked pretty good. 3 of 3, 58 yards. He led a touchdown drive, threw a touchdown
Yeah.
to, yeah. Are
I will
you,
say, I mean, the two completions to Alubade were screen passes, and the
well,
pass to Jude James was a yard in front of the line of scrimmage that Jude James caught and run. But he
yeah, I
didn't
mean,
do anything bad. He didn't take a sack. He didn't have a tackle for loss. The only weird hiccup was kind of the handoff to Tavoris Jones. That was
right.
probably more on Tavoris Jones than anything.
And he ran the offense in a game that he was not supposed to play. I
Right.
think there's something to that. So and he got a touchdown pass, and I have to pull it up. What did we say? So Kenny and I, well, yeah. So Kenny said Matt Zollers would take at least one snap this season. I said he would take 8 snaps. So
You
that
both
those
would be over
cashed.
there.
Those have cashed. Not that they're actual bets, but those are both winners.
Mhm.
So yeah, I thought he was good. Jude James, I know he's a redshirt freshman, but was on the end of that touchdown pass. So
Yeah,
good
that was a
shout out to him.
great catch and run.
Yeah,
Goodness, he looked like a monster. Like he looked like a freight train. Like I would not have wanted to hit Jude James.
it was an interesting day for the tight ends. Because you had the one Jordan Harris catch, Norfleet had a touchdown, but other than that,
Yeah,
it was
3
somewhat
catches
quiet.
for 9 yards and a touchdown. Very
Yeah.
silly stat line there.
Um, Other freshmen, Marquise Davis got in the end zone, which I'm a little bummed Kenny's not here to talk about that. Actually, I'm a little bummed Kenny's not here to talk about all these guys because I think he texted us. He was
Yeah,
like,
the
"I'm like
Dante McClellan pick
Dante
six
McClellan
was
pick
big.
6,
Um,
Donovan
Alubade,
Olubide."
4 catches, 37 yards. I
Yep.
think Alubade is a legit part of the offense, so that was
Yeah.
good to see. Um, Yeah, I
Those are the
think
only
that's
ones I wrote down.
just about everybody. I mean, obviously, a lot of the young guys got to play, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
I mean, James Madison got some snaps on the field. I saw like a lot of guys, like they emptied the bench. I think almost everybody got to play snaps in this game. So that was good to see. I will say, I'll throw a bonus winner in. I thought you could not have asked for much more out of your receiver room. Kevin Coleman, they didn't really get going. 6 catches for 48 yards. He had a nice punt return as
They
well.
also tried the jet touch pass where it was clearly that Eli Drinkwitz or Kirby Moore saw the number 3 on a receiver jersey and just
Yeah,
assumed it was Luther Burden, and then Kevin Coleman lost like 2 yards.
yeah. I think they're trying to get creative and get him into space more. But I mean, still, you're not gonna be too upset with the production you got out of him. Marquise Johnson was great, 5 for 134 and a touchdown, including doing what he does best, and that's just run a straight line really fast and catch 2 deep balls. Josh Manning had some nice snares in this game. Four catches, 53 yards. He strikes me as kind of that like very like he's not a blazing speedster. He's not a super like he's just a very solid like I don't want to say like a bit of a more beefed up Barrett Bannister, almost like a very reliable target
Ooh.
that I think is capable of making plays.
You're gonna need to bring that one up again to Kenny when he's back. I think he'll find that comp fun.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, I thought the receiver room was great. I mean, Marquise Johnson, I could sing his praises all day long. I like that he had like one. There was another one where Pribula like just overthrew him, and then he's like just on the sideline doing this, and you can tell he has some kind of. They seem to have like kind of that similar kind of competitiveness with each other, and seem to have some good chemistry at least in this game. So yeah, there's some winners. Let's flip over to the not so good, and it is not as many things, but there are some negative takeaways to also take away from this game. First of all, while we're on the topic of Kevin Coleman, he nearly was like, I don't know, his game was nearly over before he took an offensive snap because Central Arkansas illegally hit him on a punt return, which again, it's just I was less mad at Central Arkansas and more like, oh, we've got the starting wide receiver one at punt returner, but we do this song and dance every time, so that was frustrating. But I think we're just gonna have to accept that's what it's gonna be in terms of him returning punts. And then he had a good one later, so hopefully at least he can be a solid punt returner. But that's always gonna make me nervous. The I think biggest thing we have to go to, and you alluded to it in the first half, was that Mizzou offensive line. My goodness, I didn't expect it to be smooth sailing right away with Caden Green at left tackle. I mean, to me, at least looking only at that first half, and I think you can especially overemphasize this because it was Central Arkansas. Not only did it, not look like it hasn't been prepared over a long period of time, but Caden Green just looked flat out lost a couple of times. There was one free rusher to Beau Pribula. Then I think he got sacked on the same drive. And then I think Caden Green got a penalty all on one drive. And I hate to dump on him, but there was another holding penalty that Jadis had that overturned a long run by Hardy when they were on that first 99-yard drive. It was a rough showing, I thought, from the offensive line, Payton.
Yeah, it looked sloppy, like very sloppy for a lot of the game. Cade Green moving out to left tackle 2 weeks before the year was never a good sign to me. Look, like I said before the season, and like you said just now, there's going to be bumps along the way when you're having to replace like 60% of your offensive line starters from the year before, because I mean, the job Mizzou was doing on the O-line before Brandon Jones got here was so bad that now they're kind of seeing kind of the consequences. There's not a whole ton of super ready depth. I don't even like, obviously there was the one really bad sack that Green gave up, but just nobody really was looking all that sharp to me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't just him. It's you point to him because he's the one that traded positions and he's the preseason
I thought
All-American.
Jadice might have had 2 penalties, honestly. Yeah, he had a false start and a holding, so that wasn't good. Holding on Caden Green, false start on Pegler. Can't happen. It was a problem earlier in 2024 as well, the penalties. So got to clean that up. I'd like to say it's fine. You can give the O-line time to kind of, gel together, but you got Kansas next week, and that is not a game you can rest on your laurels for. You can't be having 4 penalties in the first half on the O-line in that game. So gotta get or I guess 2 were on one play. I don't know. The stat broadcast one is so weird to read.
Yeah. Well, again, that holding on Green was just like, that was an all around just bad drive.
It was not good. It was not a good night for the O-line. They did kind of, I think, settle in more in the in the second half. I didn't notice any big missed blocks. I don't even think they had a penalty in the second half, so that was good to see. But still, really rough first half. I mean, I remember they ran on that 4th down that they got by about an inch. They ran the old fake pitch outside and QB keeper, and the old line was just awful on that play. It was so disorganized. It looked terrible. So it's got to be better next week for sure.
Yeah, it's a concerning trend when everyone you're going to play from here on in is far better than Central Arkansas. So, yeah, that's a worry, I think. And yeah, again, and not to pile on Caden Green, I think it's just no matter how good you are at guard, switching you to tackle, like you said, 2 weeks before the season is going to show, and it did. So, there's some tape there that they've now put out for other defensive lines potentially. And then the other one I wrote down, and again, this one was mostly first half coded, and probably is a little bit nitpicky or harsh. And you know what? They did have a pick six, so I will credit Santana Banner for that, or not Santana Banner for that. Dante McClellan for that. But I just secondary had some. I mean, there was just some. There was the 2 PI calls. Santana Banner did have one. He then made a really good tackle like a drive or two later. That stopped a third down. So I will give him credit for that. But I don't know, just still some kind of like shakiness. Central Arkansas was able to complete like a couple deep passes, and I don't know. I get it's probably being overcritical.
I'll throw this out. I think this is the only other real negative I had. I thought they were great against the pass. Like whenever Central Arkansas just didn't have a prayer whenever they dropped back to pass up until like the last drive of the game or two. Like I think they had 28 passing yards entering the fourth. I will say I wasn't impressed really with the D line. They only had 2. And a lot of this is because Central Arkansas was getting the ball out immediately. They knew their O-line could not hold up for like long dropbacks. I would have liked to have seen more than 2 sacks, to be honest with you. Damon Wilson had them both, and they were both in the second half. Again, a lot of that's out of Mizzou's control because of the way Central Arkansas was playing. I would have liked to have seen a little more out of the D line in general. I mean, Central Arkansas averaged 5.6 yards a carry. Not what I want to see, really. I think you would have liked to have seen that number below 4 for sure, and probably below 3 if we're realistic.
Yeah, again, there's some game contingencies with that, but I think you're right. There's some building blocks. Certainly, there's always stuff to take. We sound like coaches now. There's always some.
I will say this. I'm just clicking through the stat broadcast. This is something I would have really liked to see, and it's Central Arkansas. You're going to dominate up front and everything, but 4 for 4 on red zone attempts. That's excellent. I want to see so few red zone field goals this year. It's not even funny. So that was good to see. 9 for 13 on third downs is excellent. Holding them to 2 for 14 is great.
Yeah, only one Connor Wesselman punt, which was good.
It was a 48-yarder inside the 20s. So there you go. Also, freshman we didn't mention, Javion Hilson actually did get in the game, and he had 1 tackle. I didn't even notice that. So
I didn't remember seeing that either. That was probably when I was like half watching with 5 minutes left, and there was not much actual game to be watching for. But yeah, overall a very dominant performance by Missouri.
Other than the injuries, I don't think there's much else you could ask for.
No,
out of this game.
Not at all. I would agree. And yeah, we'll see what the statuses of Sam Horn and Blake Craig are. But I think with Horn, regardless of his injury, I think Beau Pribula kind of proved himself to be the starter. You just hope that for Horn it doesn't affect anything with his kind of future prospects. Because good Lord, I don't know what deity he angered, but it's just the injury. The injury gods are not on his side. That is just unfortunate. And yeah, Blake Craig, Mizzou needs him back because he was good tonight. So there you go. Payton, any last takeaways before we kick it to our past? We'll go to our past selves to do quick hits. So
no, like I said, I think you got pretty much everything you could have hoped for out of this game. Just hope the injuries don't turn out that bad. And now honestly, I think the season is probably on the line next week. I don't think you're having the season you're hoping for if it doesn't involve a Kansas win. So,
absolutely. Well, Mizzou passes any sort of first stress test, dropped 61 on Central Arkansas, and got some good tape for a lot of guys heading into Kansas, which is, like Payton said, a massive, massive game, which we will preview. That's when you'll next see us. I mentioned it in quick hits too. No show on Monday. But we will be back next Friday with that big old Kansas preview and some other fun stuff as well. So just a scheduling programming note there. And we will kick it. Kenny will be with us. It'll be our past selves before the game. And we will finish the show off with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. It's now us in the past. pre the end of the Central Arkansas game. So who knows what happened? We don't, but future selves, which are at the beginning of the show, do. A little inception on the unwritten rule. Jersey of the week. Kenny, your jersey of the week.
My jersey of the week goes to Beckett York, who announced his verbal commitment.
Payton, can you hear him?
Kenny, you're muted, dude.
Oh man,
did he mute himself mid?
I think I did on accident.
Wow.
Oh, no. I accidentally hit the cord on my mic.
I was gonna say it sounded like something unplugged. I honestly thought it was me.
I thought it was right. I had like just full screen something else, and I was like, did I hit a button? Kenny, your jersey of the week. I'm not cutting that, but
that's fine.
We'll run it back.
What do you mean not cutting that?
You want to edit it?
No, just leave it in. It's fine. My jersey of the week goes to Beckett York, class of 2027 shortstop and catcher, likely sticking in the infield. Verbally pledged to Missouri on Wednesday to the baseball team. He's from Lebanon, so I think that's a big thing too, keeping a top-rated guy on prep baseball in the home state. Just some numbers from prep baseball. A lot of it's behind a paywall. I don't want to, give that away when they're trying to make money off of it. But 94.5 exit velo, 84 infield velo. It's across the diamond. 7-11, 60 time. Just some numbers right there. 77 mile per hour bat speed for the new Mizzou commit.
He's 27. I know Missouri's doing okay in the 26 high school rankings as well in state. So, look, we've talked about it ad nauseum on the show. Mizzou is just really up against it in baseball. So anytime you can convince any really talented in-state kid to stay home is a big win.
Yeah, it's a good note. Exciting to keep him in state. Payton, your jersey of the week.
My jersey of the week is going to be Luther Burden. Our long national nightmare is over. Luther Burden is no longer wearing 87. He's wearing 13 now. He switched it after roster cuts for the Bears. Maurice Alexander originally wore 13 in the preseason. And Adam Johns, who now works for CHGO, very good reporter on the Bears beat. He reported that Luther Burden will now be wearing number 13 for the Bears. So Luther gets his 3 sort of back. He won't be able to wear 3 like just straight up like he did at Mizzou, but he's got the next best thing probably.
LB13.
No, I was gonna let Kenny go because he liked those 2 tweets. Because I think we might have the same opinion on this. I got used to 87. I'm not gonna lie. I got used to 87 in the preseason, and I really came around to it. But
he's not an 87 receiver. He's not. 87 isn't for him. 13 is better.
Is 87 just for like a big X guy?
Yes, I think it is. I don't think it's for a slot guy like Luther is.
That's probably valid. I don't know. I just got used to it, and I actually thought it kind of worked for him. But I think your build, like your typical build for an 80s receiver is right. So, I mean, we'll get used to 13 too. He literally wore 3. So good for Luther Burden. My jersey, or I guess maybe jerseys of the week, it goes to several teams, including 2 teams of 2 very recent Mizzou first-round picks, Armand Membu and Darius Robinson, because they will be wearing new uniforms this year. The NFL released their rivalries edition jerseys, and the Cardinals and the Jets both got one. So Darius Robinson and Armand Membu will both be wearing some of these jerseys. I think overall, most of these are pretty darn cool. I kind of want your guys' take on the Cardinals one, because honestly, my first reaction, if you're watching on the YouTube, you'll see them. If you're not, maybe look them up while you're listening along. Otherwise, this might be a confusing segment. But my first reaction to the Cardinals one was that I get what they were trying to do. It was like, oh, out in the desert, it's like sandy, whatever. Desert, yeah, like storming. But it just kind of looks like a white jersey that just like has been left in the dirt for a little bit. But people were liking it. So I don't know. Maybe I just don't have the right vision with that. And then the Jets one, I like the jersey. Logo is very interesting. It's like minimalist. I don't know if you guys saw like all of these, but I was looking at them on Thursday when they got released. But Armand Membu, Darius Robinson, a few Tigers who will be wearing cool rivalries jerseys this year.
Yeah, Arizona's is my favorite, honestly, of this group.
See?
I think it's an actual like theme. It feels like it more. Not that the others aren't. Like I think New England's is like a decent like snowstorm kind of theme. Buffalo is just straight up snow. I think Arizona's kind of matches the best. I think it's cool. Just in general, D-Rob's going to wear it, so that's a plus. I'll be honest with you, Knowlton. I unfortunately am going to have to give the least favorite one to the Seahawks. I don't love that one. I don't really think it means like what is the theme there? Do you know?
I mean, I guess they didn't go for as strict of a theme as like the Cardinals or the Bills or the Patriots, but
It's a high decibel zone.
yeah, I mean they went for like a lot of gradients. They have so in their numbers, like in the iridescent numbers, they all say 12 because of their 12th man thing, which I know they stole from A&M, but whatever. I really like them, so I'm gonna push back on that.
I haven't seen the helmet you were talking about off air either, but I do like. If I had to just not power rank, but just go through and give my quick one word opinions, from left to right, top to bottom, like, don't like.
The Jets one, the more I look at it, it does kind of feel like it's trying to decide whether to be a black jersey or a really dark green, and it does kind of look strange.
It just is like the rest of it's too similar to their like normal green jerseys that they used to have like in the early 2010s, in my opinion.
I think that with the Rams too, honestly. Like I like the little gradient they tried to do, but I kind of think they just turned and Miami, actually, they just turned their regular jerseys black and kind of changed a little small part of it. My favorite is the Bills. I am always a sucker for like a gray on white, silver on white, all white out jersey. I think those are always so clean looking. And the giant silver Bills logo on the side is so cool. That's my favorite one. But there you go. So we'll see how the Mizzou guys look in those new duds. I think they wear it just when I think it's like 3 games or something, 2 or 3 games when they play each other. So there you go. Good jersey, good actual jersey talk on the jerseys of the week.
I like no cap, and he's the main bird.
Up next, the Shawnee East main bird of the week. We have a collective main bird of the week this week. So a little program note. We will not be having a show for Monday. The next time you'll hear us is next Friday's show, where we'll have the big old Kansas preview. So very excited for that. And for that show, we're going to bring back our best beats of the week, sponsored by FanDuel. I thought we could do a mini one because we will not speak to our gracious audience, guys, before NFL football returns. The first Thursday night game might feel a little bit of ways away for us right now. It's technically a week away when we're recording this, but the NFL's back next Thursday. We got Cowboys, Eagles. Eagles are a bird team, and I thought we could do a little mini best beats of the week segment and give some lines as presented by FanDuel or from FanDuel on this game. So I know we each picked a prop, and these are going in the notes, by the way. We're going to track them again, just like if you're a longtime listener to this show, we had best beats of the week in previous years. We're going to track it. We're going to see how well we each do. So this one,
can you tell me who the most successful person on this show
that
here
doesn't matter. It's all about the next person. The most successful person is the next winner.
Those were also just straight up picks, I think. Actually, the NFL picks, not the,
I don't think we did props then. So
we did like over unders in different bets like that, just with different sponsorships that we had. We used to do those graphics. I kind of like messed up over time though, because I think I like lost the correct count just sometimes. But I'm pretty sure at one point Jack was on like a 10-0 run and really climbed back because you were
because we had to ban him from abusing the Iowa.
It was the Iowa.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you stop doing that?
I just think you guys should just figure out your own winning strategy. But that doesn't matter. We're putting all that behind us. It's a new season. Shout out to FanDuel. You can go over there and bet these lines as well. So we each picked a prop from the Eagles-Cowboys game. Payton, would you like to say your prop for this game first?
Yes, I'll go first. I'm going against the Eagles here. I'm actually doing a Cowboys.
Anti-main bird.
Yeah.
Main Cowboy.
Shout out them boys. I am going to go with CeeDee Lamb plus 150 anytime touchdown because he's like one of the best receivers in the league. It's not rocket science. So CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown score.
I am a fan of the Cowboys passing game. I think they could have like a big season. I like George Pickens there. I almost picked a George Pickens prop for this. All right, Kenny.
Saquon Barkley has a 96.5 over/under for rushing yards in this game. I'm going to take the over. Last season, of course, was a career year for Saquon. He ended up getting on the Madden cover with it as well. And some people talk about the curse. He even talked about it this offseason. But I feel like he's still like in that something to prove kind of mindset too, because people are just saying this might be just a one-off year, and now it's kind of like he's going to start swinging backwards. And still have some good numbers. But last time he did play against the Cowboys at home, he dropped 167 yards on 31 carries. Don't know if he'll have the same amount of carries, but I mean that he smashed that total. If it was the same over/under, he would have smashed it. So I'm going to take the over for Saquon to start the season.
You said something to prove Saquon has.
I thought we could drop a little like Mizzou
STP.
Little Mizzou moniker in there.
A little Mizzou love in this. There are no Mizzou players playing in this game, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of Mizzou things for these segments going forward. I'm gonna go with a little bit of a big one here. Off season, big storyline was with the Eagles was, are they going to ban the tush push? And they did not ban it. And I think the Eagles are gonna I don't know, maybe make the league regret not banning it. I didn't want it banned, for the record. I think it's, you just got to find a way to stop it.
Me neither, because I draft Jalen Hurts every year, and it probably gives me an extra 40 points a year at least.
So that's a good segue. I love that take, Payton. I try to get Jalen Hurts when I can as well. I'm going to pick him. He's plus 490 in this game to score 2 touchdowns. I'm putting it down. I think they're going to tush push him up, get in the goal line twice, and he scores twice on 2 tush push touchdowns. And the Eagles roll in this game. The Cowboys, I think until the Micah Parsons thing gets figured out, I think they're just going to be a little bit dysfunctional. As much as I kind of like their passing game, so I got the Super Bowl champs rolling, and I'll take the Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns. Where does Micah Parsons go? I'm throwing that as a bonus thing. I think Adam Schefter released something
back
today
to the Cowboys? He will not get traded, is my prediction.
Okay.
I hope he's a Packer.
Was that one of the teams? I haven't read Schefter's thing. I think they were, because Seattle was also one of the teams. There was a screenshot I saw. So not gonna turn it. Payton, I think I'm with you though. I think he goes back. I think this eventually gets figured out, as strange as Jerry Jones is. There you go. Our main bird of the week, and we'll have best beats next Friday for, I guess, the rest of week 1, the main Sunday slate for week 1. So that'll come back. Best things you learned. Payton, what did you learn?
Best thing I learned this week, talked about Central Arkansas earlier in the show for the viewers. But before that game was played, just a couple days, right in time, Mizzou extended its home sellout streak. They sold out the Central Arkansas game just in time to move it to 13 games now, dating back to the Kansas State game. So, man, Kansas State, just 13 games in a row, has just done the heavy lifting. They have sold out. Thank you. Guys, can we have a 15-minute applause break for Kansas State fans for selling out another Mizzou home game?
Wait, I can do you one better. I can't type with one hand very fast.
That's fine. I'll keep talking. So yeah, good on Mizzou. Obviously Kansas will make it 14. And then I don't remember who's week 3? ULL? That's a sellout. So it's gonna be going for a long time at this rate.
Yeah, that's my.
Thank you.
That's really what you did. I thought you were trying to find a cheering sound effect.
No, I was holding my mic, so I was typing with one hand.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Kansas State, for keep up that sellout streak, guys. Kenny, what did you learn?
Best thing I learned this week is that I know a lot of people were kind of bummed to see some former Mizzou players not make the 53-man rosters for respective teams, but a handful of the guys are coming back with the practice squad of those teams that cut them. Of course, Brady Cook and Harrison Mevis will stick with the Jets. So a trio of former Tigers still in New York, with Armand Membu being the other one. Cody Schrader is going to be back with the Rams, and then Theo Weiss will be back with the Dolphins on those practice squads.
All good news. Yeah, I know it was just a question of whether Tyrod Taylor was going to be healthy for the Jets. Obviously, the Jets feel comfortable where he's at, apparently. So, but good for Brady Cook for at least winning the QB3 job, sticking on the practice squad.
Yeah, hopefully those guys can keep kind of cutting their teeth and get a chance to break through. But yeah, that's good news. We were goading the Jets too. We had a bit of a moment on X of asking the Jets to release the 53-man roster, and then they listened, but it was not in the way we hoped that they would listen. But yeah, the robot's been on a heater too on X, so go give him a follow. He's doing a great job. Unpaid robot intern. My best thing I learned this week. I'm going a little bit away from Mizzou for this, but I just thought this was too funny to not bring up. This comes from Sean. I believe it's pronounced Reader. I hope I'm not butchering your name, Sean. Which also, bonus points to Sean. His Twitter bio just like journalist Twitter bios are always kind of similar, but I like that he just described his job as just ball at Albuquerque Journal. Not like football beat reporter, not any sort of thing, just ball Albuquerque Journal. So respect to that, first of all, from Sean. But he posted this on X. The University of New Mexico did kind of a funny thing. Michigan didn't release a 2-deep. So instead of putting out an actual 2-deep, New Mexico put out their own 2-deep with a bunch of Tom Hanks characters in the place of offense, Tom Cruise characters in the place of defense, and Leonardo DiCaprio characters as special teams starters, which I just thought was pretty great. You've got, let's see, I'm going to go to the special teams first, just for Payton. Their punter is Jordan Belfort. Still would probably be the best punter on Mizzou's roster, I think. The actual Jordan Belfort. You think? No, maybe not.
Not super bullish on Wesselman.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
you're going to take a guy who was on Quaaludes for most of his life.
Actually, you're right. Jordan Belfort might not be able to play. He might not be eligible. Might have some substance. Get a suspension. Their kicker, Hugh Hughes from the Aviator, which actually I have not seen. But there's a bunch of good ones. Like Forrest Gump is the running back. That makes sense. Yeah. So I just thought that was a good. Would be a pretty elite defense with like the Tom Cruise characters. Think about get the Mission Impossibles in there, Jack Reacher, some badasses back there. Jerry Maguire at safety. I thought this was good.
That's an interesting one.
So you want to elaborate on that? Just gonna let that.
Why is he playing safety?
I don't know. I think eventually you just have to start shipping them into.
So what exactly? Why? Like, because I don't think they were the only one kind of poking fun at Michigan. Like, what did Michigan do? They just didn't release a depth chart and people made a big deal of it?
I think so. I actually didn't look up the backstory with what Michigan had done, but
I see.
Maybe they're just making fun of Michigan. They've been in some shady stuff.
Boy, a pair of 5'7" corners, that is rough.
They're all listed at 5'7", 170.
Yeah, I mean, just 5'7", 170 D tackle.
5'7"
I do like Mav from Top Gun being at linebacker, just the captain of the defense flying around. I think that's good.
Yeah. They included Captain Pete Maverick.
Where did they put Woody? I forgot to check that. I think he's on offense somewhere.
Sheriff Woody.
Oh, he's a backup wide receiver.
On the 2-deep receiver, yeah.
On the 2-deep receiver. There you go. I thought that was good for New Mexico. So that was all. College football is truly back. Very excited for the Saturday slate of games. And being able to watch like a Saturday stress-free of Mizzou is kind of nice. Like you get the Mizzou game out of the way. You can just enjoy the Saturday. You don't have to worry about a Mizzou game.
Yep, definitely. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. This is a layup, guys. Come on. Did you hear about the king that went to the dentist?
He had to get a crown. Boom.
Yep, there you go. Easy.
Nice.
Layup. Slam dunk. Boom.
Also, if you guys didn't know, like Michigan and UNM are playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's why UNM did it.
Key. Okay. I get that now. I was curious why that.
Oh, I just thought that was implied. They weren't just randomly trolling Michigan. It's just because they're.
Oh, because they weren't the only ones that kind of poked fun at Michigan for that. I don't think, like for not releasing a depth chart. So.
Oh, I didn't see anyone else. But yes, it's because they're playing. Sorry, I guess I should have clarified that for anyone else who might have just thought they were taking a random stray at Michigan. All right, there you go. What a good joke. Just a nice, quick, easy one. Kenny nailed it to send you into your college football weekend. Go enjoy that. Some big games that will be fun. We'll probably find a way to call back to all of them in Friday's show. But you'll next see us then, just some scheduling stuff, which is why we won't have a Monday show. But we will be back Friday. We will have the big preview of Kansas, and football season is underway. So let's get rolling. Enjoy the weekend of college football. We will see you next time.